Hi everyone. Um, I'm just now in KL, and yesterday was the International Women's Day, and I just was listening to this beautiful music from Peja. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but she's making so beautiful healing music, and I kind of goosebumps. And I wanted to share some thoughts on equality. For me, of course, I understand and I agree. We need different laws, we need new laws, and still, I think the real thing which will make a change in our everyday lives is the everyday life. And if we are empowered to do the things that empower us, and if we speak up to, if we feel like unfair treated, if we are just swallowing it and we are nice, or if we are like, hey, I really didn't like this, can we talk about it? And I do this pretty often, and somehow more and more, and like really recognizing when the kid in me, really recognizing when the kid in me wants to be just loved and accepted and just be nice, the nice girl. And that's the thing I would like to talk about. That so often I watch families, and even like my own, like from mostly in the past, how we talk to girls differently than to boys, how we make the girls feel sometimes different, and like, I don't know, how often do you hear like, be nice, be pretty, wow, you look so pretty, you look so cute, or don't be so loud, girls don't do this. And I still remember this, like, I remember when I was a kid, and kind of my grandmother, I know that it's like something really also rooted in some Balkan families and traditions, and I would see my family as pretty modern, but still you don't really have these patterns, and you think it's like maybe fun to say some things, but if you think about it, somewhere the people believe it, it's kind of normal. And I heard so often, don't be so loud, if you always have such a strong opinion, no man will want to marry you. And that's like, really? Someone won't marry me because I have an opinion? So that means I need to be calm and nice to be accepted and loved? I mean, that's like really not nice for girls to get like this, because then we will always feel like we need to play something to get love. And there, I would like to share two examples which I just experienced during traveling when I was watching, all over the world. It's not something just in this country or that country, it's like all over the world. And I remember when I was sitting in Belgrade in a park, where there was a family with a 2 or 3 years old little girl, and she was running around and having really fun, and she put her shirt up, and the parents were like taking her shirt down, and they're like, don't do this, girls don't do this, be pretty, girls don't, like, they already made her feel like she can show her breasts, which were not existing. She was like 2 years old. It's like, and the girl didn't really understand it, of course, like why she should put her shirt down, and the parents were kind of a bit ashamed and a bit like, like, haha, she's a kid, but she will understand it later. And I felt sad about it, because if a boy would do this, I don't think parents would say this. Maybe yes, some, but there is one thing. It's not nice at all to what adults do something with kids, how they don't take them for whole. But then the other thing is how what kind of beliefs we put into girls with this, like, nice, be nice. I'm so allergic to this, and also to shh, don't be so loud. That makes me like really, of course I can work on letting that go, but it's something like really deep rooted, where I feel I need to fight for myself. And then another thing which I just saw recently, 1 week ago, we spent a 1 week in Sri Lanka in a small village, and we were staying at a local family's place, and the girl there was 21, and every time I asked her something really simple, she had to. She was always like double checking with her mother. She was asking her mother first, her mother gave the answer, and then she answered me. Like somehow they raised her in the feeling that what she thinks or that she can't maybe think for herself, or you know that she needs help from outside to make her own opinion, like yeah, or that it's not whole what she thinks, whatever it is. But I also saw that, for example, her older brother, he got like paid all the studies, and he's like software engineer, and they're like really put all the pictures how he's like with the study, like with the diploma, and I asked her what she's doing, and she's like, she's going like once a week to some local college or something like this. And I don't say it's bad or that she needs to study, not at all, but you know what they put into her brother and what they put into her, like probably she wouldn't have the right to just go to a bigger city and just study there, and do her own life. But they give her something to do, and she will until she probably gets married, and then she will anyway have kids, and she won't need it. And I think that's the problem, that we really make girls as kids feel like their opinion doesn't count, that they need to be nice and quiet, and this is where for me real empowerment starts, to recognize when we behave like how we were told in the past, and then speak up, gather with other women and speak up, and it doesn't need to be this fight, men energy, like let's fight for it. It can be like this nice soft women energy, which is so powerful, It's like just stand up and like just be, and like I think if you have it somehow inside of yourself, it's like vibrating out of you and vibrating to other women, and they will feel also empowered to stand up. It doesn't matter if it's about not feeling nice treated in the bus or by your boss or company which doesn't give you the same amount of money like the other male employees. It doesn't matter at all where. But the thing is to practice speaking up, setting boundaries, and not be nice because to be nice, to be polite and to be like to make sure to be liked, but you just be as you are. And this can be in a nice way, it doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be fight energy, but like clear and strong, like hey, that's the border, don't pass it. It's so powerful, Yeah, I don't say I always made it like super good and not at all. But when you recognize that you feel uncomfy to speak up for yourself, that's the moment where you should practice speaking up for yourself, because this moment matters a lot. So what you can do, speak up. It's good to we will hopefully one day change the rights and really stick it with the people, but it needs to stick here and here, that we need to live it, we can't expect from some men, I don't say every man is like this, not at all, but we can't expect that some man or just the society will change us, but in the end we are the society, we are part of it. So let's do it in the everyday life and speak up and don't fight each other, but unite. Yeah. Mwah! Have a beautiful day. I love you all.